What's going on, guys? So this new series that I'm doing is for all my clients that I'm currently training or I've trained in the past that somehow we both, have had an impact on each other's lives. And my first client that I'm going to do this series with is Nancy Monreal. She's been through numerous amount of surgeries, a lot of health issues, but tremendous mindset. Ever since I met her till now, how much of a warrior she is. And I like to use the word pain chaser. She's definitely a pain chaser, man. She's brave. She's not scared of all these situations that she's been put in, and she's overcome. And I want you guys to listen to her story as far as how it all started and to raise awareness in the disease that she fights and all the stuff she's been through. Are you a pain chaser or not? Because nowadays, especially in today's time, is depression is at all-time highest. Anxiety is at all-time highest. People's health is declining by the day, from our foods, to everything around us. It doesn't matter your situation, what you're going through in life, you can get past it. And one of the main things that I'm always going to preach, and I truly believe from my own personal experience, is getting to the gym. Getting in fitness, finding some form of therapy in there, because the thing is, your body needs to release that stress. There's all these stresses coming in, and you're not working out. It's clogging inside your body, your heart, and your arteries. You gotta get out there, man. You gotta move. You gotta be able to fight these battles of life. That sometimes you feel that you can't swim anymore, and you're on your last breath, and you just want to give it up. But then you see that little light coming down, and you see, there's hope. I got faith. It's gonna be all right. Check out Nancy Monreal's story. She's a great individual, a true pain chaser, and definitely a warrior of life. Check it out, guys.
My name is Nancy, and I'm 31 years old. I've been working out with Max for about 7 years now. My health started declining when I was 12. I would vomit once a month, and I'm like, oh, it's a stomach bug. My sister's like, you can't be sick every single month, throwing up one day straight. So they diagnosed me with acid reflux. I started developing pain, and that's when I knew something was going on. It was like intense pain, and I've been dealing with pain since. They were trying to figure out what the pain was. My levels, my AST and ALT were always high, but my pancreatic levels were normal. So they didn't want to do an endoscopy and potentially give me pancreatitis, because, if it's not that, then I could get pancreatitis all for nothing. They had to have valid proof. So I had to continue going to the hospital and having those irregular results. So whenever I went one time, I had a HIDE exam, I'm not too sure how you pronounce that, but basically they test your gallbladder. I wasn't producing stones or anything, but my gallbladder was functioning at less than 10%, so they thought that was the source of my pain. Had the gallbladder removed, that was not it. From there, I ended up getting the endoscopy. They found out that I had chronic pancreatitis, and it was caused by pancreatic divisum, a mutated CFTR gene. I also had sphincter of Oddi dysfunction, and with labs I was able to determine that I had a mutated CFTR gene. That a lot of people have it, it's common, but it actually affects a low percentage, and I'm that low percent. So what we did, the plan of action at that point, to treat pancreatic divisum, he put a stent in, because it's basically a drainage from your pancreas down. Everything was producing inside of my pancreas, causing it to be inflamed. That's what pancreatitis is. We did the stents, but my body was just rejecting it. It made the pain 10 times worse. After that, I noticed where before my pancreas wouldn't reflect the levels, method of stops rating at 30,000, so it's well over 30,000. I would spend about a week, a month in the hospital with pain. From that point, we tried that. He tried cutting the sphincter of Oddi muscle to, help everything contract. That also didn't really get me anywhere, and it was just a bunch of these different things. They have to exhaust their resources before finally going for surgery. They cut out part of my pancreas, which was the head, so the tail is what produces the insulin. So I still wasn't diabetic at the time because I had the tail. Took out the head, took out a piece of my stomach, basically rearranging the pipework. And sometimes some years have passed. Still, I've had a celiac back. I've had different approaches, everything. It wasn't until I got the rest of my pancreas completely removed. So basically what they did then was they moved the tail that was left. They removed that. They put it in a blender, blended it up, took the little islet cells that produce the insulin, placed it into my liver and some places inside of my stomach. So now I am kind of like a type 1 diabetic, but that's been ultimately what's helped my treatment. So when I first started off with Max, I told him I have stomach issues, and he was like, give me some burpees. That did not go well. He worked with me. When I first started with him, it was like, I didn't have a goal, I just want to move. Like, just let's see what my body can do. I was very limited. So what we ended up doing was boxing. I learned I really liked boxing. That was what helped my stomach. I like working with him because there's some days that I cannot move. Like, I am just laying down. That's the only thing I can do, is just lay down and just wait for the pain to go over. I'll text him, hey, I can't make it today. And he's willing to work with me. There's other times where I'm texting him, I'm like, I know we've been up here doing great with our workout, but let's keep it low weight. Let's lay down because my stomach is just not cooperating with me. I did work out with a different trainer one time. I told her, hey, I'm not feeling good. She's like, okay, go home. And that threw me a little off guard, because with Max, what he does is like, okay, we're gonna work out biceps and let's do this workout. I'm like, hey man, my stomach can't handle that. He's like, okay, let's do some adjustments. We're still gonna work out the same muscle. And he gives me different methods. So we've been playing around with what my stomach allows that day. And that's how I've been able to continue my training. Without training, I would be in a very difficult mental state, because this is my happy place. There's sometimes where my body doesn't allow me to do anything that day except for that 1 hour of training, and seeing all the things that my body is capable of doing despite all the health issues I've had, and seeing from having less organs being stronger than I was when I had all my organs, it gets me very excited and very motivated. It just gives me some sense of control over my body that I feel I don't have with my health. Don't let this, if you do get diagnosed with something severe, that's not who you are. It's part of your life, but you're not a sick person. And the second you have the mentality of a sick person is when you will notice that your health does start to decrease. And keep fighting. I had to keep fighting for this diagnosis. It took years to get this diagnosis. Just don't give up. If your body's telling you something's wrong, you have to listen. In today's age, I feel like depression is something that is being a little bit more accepting, whereas back in the day, you couldn't really talk about these things. Opening up about my depression with my health, it really does take a toll on you. Mental health and illness go hand in hand. If you have a chronic illness, you're gonna have depression. For me, it's been training. Whenever I started seeing that I could do boxing, it was like an instant relief. Like, that would be my quote unquote therapy. I would advise anybody that is dealing with health issues. He taught me to isolate my muscles, so it really helped me in recovery on multiple surgeries. This has been cut open 3 times. And so I remember applying what he taught me, working out, isolating the muscles. So when I would get up, I was able to get up just fine. On every surgery that I've had, I've recovered so quickly. And I really associate a lot of my recovery having to do with the gym. Had I not worked out as often as I did, my recovery would not have been as smooth as every single time as it's been. My name is Nancy Monreal. I have had 8 surgeries. I keep fighting this disease and will continue to fight it because I am a pain chaser.
All right, start off with 5 pounds. Now we're at 45 pounds. You ready?
I'm ready.
You've been waiting for this moment all your life. Let's see, 45 pounds on each side. 2 reps. There you go, 1 more. Push, push, and good. That's how you do it.